So Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker star Daisy Ridley, who plays Rey, says that the Rise of Skywalker ending will be less controversial than Game of Thrones. Well, this is my opinion on this. I 100% agree with her. No doubt about it whatsoever. And I'm going to give you my reason on this right now. Clearly, the Star Wars name is big, but there's a difference between Star Wars and Disney Star Wars. Disney Star Wars is completely different from Star Wars. George Lucas created Star Wars. That's Star Wars. What Disney is giving you is Disney Star Wars. Two separate things. And with that being said, Game of Thrones coming into this final season was beloved. I cannot say the same about the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy. I cannot. So I wholeheartedly agree with Daisy Ridley that the ending will be less controversial because nobody cares about the sequel trilogy. Nobody cares about Mary Sue Ray. Nobody cares about what happens to these new characters. After the way they disrespected Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, people were out. I mean, it can't get any more controversial than that in Star Wars. Absolutely not. So if Rey is going to save the day, if Rey is going to do all these magical and powerful things that we had never seen before, it wouldn't surprise anybody because she's a Mary Sue. Nobody cares about her character. Now, there is the Palpatine factor. They had to bring back somebody that was presumably dead in Return of the Jedi to sell tickets, since they've already killed off Han Solo, they've killed off Luke, and they bring back Pando Lando instead of Lando Calrissian. So, Daisy Ridley, you're right. You are completely right. So, going into Game of Thrones Season 8, everyone, they really cared about Jon Snow. They cared about Arya Stark. They cared about all of these beloved characters going into the final season of Game of Thrones. But when the Star Wars sequel trilogy came out, Disney told us to take it or leave it with these new characters. If you don't like it, you're sexist, you're racist. That didn't happen with Game of Thrones. These characters, we watched seasons 1 through 7. We come to know, love them, and respect them. But when it comes to the character of Rey, Rey isn't even on the same level as an Arya Stark when it comes to character development. I think Arya Stark is actually my favorite character in Game of Thrones. But when it comes to Star Wars, Rey is one of my least favorite characters of all time. I have no investment in Rey whatsoever. I just don't care about her. Because when you're perfect at everything, you have no character arc. You don't have to struggle with anything. Why in the world should we care? If Rey, let's say this, if Rey lifts the Death Star, it wouldn't be controversy because people would expect Disney Star Wars to do something that ridiculous. If Rey kills Kylo Ren, kills off the final Skywalker, nobody's going to care because Kylo Ren is a weakly made character. Rey is built up as this all-powerful character. If for some reason they made Rose Tico this new Jedi that saves the day along with Rey, nobody would care because nobody likes Rose Tico. And this would clearly fit the Kathleen Kennedy woke agenda when it comes to Star Wars. Kill the past. Let it die. Kill off all the old legendary characters. Take these new characters. There's no controversy. None whatsoever. I'm just not buying it. Maybe you guys do. But I'm prepared for anything with The Rise of Skywalker. You know, J.J. Abrams, Mr. Unoriginal, he's just going to push the focus more on Rey being this all-powerful person. I don't think we're going to get a really good explanation as to why she can do what she does. But I think the writing on the wall is kind of already there as to the reason why she can do what she does. She can do what she does because she's a woman, and you're not allowed to question that. If you question why Rey is the way she is, you're sexist, you're misogynist, that kind of thing. You know, women don't need an excuse for being all strong and all powerful, even though their male counterparts need that. But that's just the way it is in the Kathleen Kennedy era of Star Wars. So I say it again, I just don't care about the ending of the Rise of Skywalker. I really don't. Because if you actually think Rey is going to turn to the dark side, something is wrong with you. That's not going to happen. Rey, no matter what, is going to save the day. She's going to. If they don't allow her to save the day, if they don't allow her to undermine what Anakin did at the end of Return of the Jedi, then you're lost. Because I have a feeling, a very, very strong feeling, that Rey is going to undermine what Anakin did. The prophecy, the chosen one, that went out the door the moment George Lucas sold the company to Disney. And that's my biggest fear about this movie. But I'm not going to be surprised if that happens. There won't be any controversy because they've already destroyed Star Wars episodes 1 through 6. They destroyed the greatest hero in all of Star Wars history. So there will be no controversy with this movie. It's just going to be a continuation of the crazy stuff and all this stuff they did with the sequel trilogy that nobody likes. No character development whatsoever. So guys, what do you think of this? Do you think the end of The Rise of Skywalker is going to be controversial? Or do you agree with Daisy Ridley that it won't be? I agree with her. It won't be. But that's just my thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me. And we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.